The alert lit up my phone at 1:17 a.m., a dim glow slicing through the dark. The message preview was half hidden, just enough to tilt my universe off its axis. "You make me feel alive again." Not written by me, not directed at me, yet sent from her phone, mirrored accidentally onto the shared tablet she'd forgotten was still synced. I stared at the words for a long stretch, lungs locked, hearing her steady breathing from the far side of the bedroom, peaceful, untroubled, as if nothing inside her had already hollowed itself out. For weeks she'd been turning away from me, her body rigid, her voice dull with excuses. "Not tonight. I'm exhausted. You don't get me anymore." Earlier that night, right before she drifted off, she'd smirked, an expression she tried to swallow but didn't quite hide. "Maybe my ex remembers how to treat me." The words twisted into me slowly as she brushed past. I hadn't answered then, and I didn't answer now. Instead, I sat up in the dark and let the room settle into its cold quiet, just listening, thinking. The notification disappeared from the screen, but the sentence carved itself into me, sharp and unblinking. There was no panic, no shouting, just a constriction inside my chest, like a hand curling around something already fragile. Something fractured tonight, not because she lied, but because she wanted me to absorb the sting. That was what awakened something colder in me. The next morning, she moved around the house as if the night had been uneventful. Light, careless, humming while she made coffee. She never really met my eyes. She looked past me, as though the person she once vowed to love had already vanished. She'd been doing that for weeks. It didn't bother me anymore. I watched her quietly, noting every detail like evidence. The late-night showers, the hidden passwords, the perfume scrubbed off before she walked through the door, the sudden urge to visit her mother. The same mother who could barely tolerate her. The clues didn't shout, they whispered, and I had learned to pay attention to whispers. She flirted with distance, nudging me toward conclusions she assumed I was too dull to reach. Maybe she believed I was oblivious. Maybe she craved someone else's attention so she could resent me for not noticing. But I did notice. I recognized the shift when her excuses became rhythmic, rehearsed, empty. I recognized it when she dressed up for jogging. I recognized it when she started locking her phone and stepping outside to answer calls saved under work G group. Her betrayal wasn't impulsive. It was deliberate, plotted, crafted to wear me away slowly. But that smirk last night, that was different. That was her signaling that she feared no consequences, that I had already been dismissed, erased. And something inside me aligned into a sharper, colder place. Not rage, not heartbreak, clarity. If she wanted a reaction, I wouldn't give her the one she expected. I began quietly, not with confrontation, but with observation. For 3 days I said nothing, moving through the house like a shadow, composed, unshaken. She mistook the silence for weakness. I checked the phone records on our shared plan, new number, constant calls, late hours. I checked the car mileage, an extra 40 miles a day. I checked the cloud backups she'd forgotten were linked to my email. Location pings near an apartment she once swore she would never set foot in again. His apartment, her ex, the one she'd kept polished in memory, sanding down their past until nostalgia felt like truth. My hands stayed steady. My breathing never changed. I collected each piece of evidence like a surgeon handling specimens, calm, exact, clinical. Then came the bank statements, drinks, dinners, Uber rides. Not extravagant, just careless. The kind of careless that comes when someone believes they're untouchable. The more I uncovered, the less I felt. Emotions drained away until only a cold, unmoving stillness remained. By the 5th day, I knew everything. Every lie, every meeting, every whispered message sent under the cover of darkness. But I didn't confront her. I waited. Truth means more when delivered on the right day. On the 6th morning, the final confirmation arrived. An automatic cloud-synced photo, a reflection in a mirror, her hand on his chest, his mouth against her neck. Nothing explicit, nothing that needed to be, just enough to end it all. I walked into the kitchen and placed my phone on the counter in front of her, the image facing up. She froze, the color drained from her face. Her lips parted, but nothing came out. I didn't speak at first. I simply watched her unravel in slow, trembling breaths. When I finally did speak, my voice sounded like it belonged to someone else. "When did you decide I wasn't enough?" Her eyes filled, hers, not mine. I didn't. I was confused. We were struggling. I raised a hand, not to silence her, but to wave away the noise. That's when she realized I was finished. The fear in her expression wasn't fear of losing me. It was fear of losing control. I packed my bags that afternoon. No shouting, no threats, not even a sigh. She followed me down the hallway, her voice cracking apart. "Please don't do this. We can fix it." I messed up. I zipped the suitcase slowly, letting the silence press down on her. "You didn't make a mistake," I said. "You made a choice." That was when her best friend burst through the front door, out of breath, furious, eyes blazing. "Do you know what he just said about you?" She yelled at my wife. "He recorded everything. He bragged about using you again. He called you pathetic for falling for him twice. My wife crumpled to the floor, sobbing. Not from guilt, but from humiliation. And I stood there, strangely composed, watching her world fall apart from two directions at once. Revenge didn't require violence, just truth delivered at the exact moment it could do the most damage. I walked out without looking back. The air outside felt lighter, cleaner, as if leaving her had released something that had been tightening inside my chest for months. She called my name once, small, broken. I didn't turn around. She had wanted power. She had wanted control. She had wanted attention. In the end, she got none of it. The truth dismantled her more efficiently than anything I might have said. I closed the car door, set my suitcase beside me, and let the quiet settle in. No regret, no longing, just clarity. Some endings don't burn, they freeze. And this one left her standing in the cold she created. I simply walked away from it,